Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic, a topic that we all know since our primary school, but there will be an update in knowledge in this topic. You all are sitting on your seat, and by so doing, you are occupying a space. Maybe most of us have checked our weight, and we also know that we have a particular weight. So by having a weight and occupying space, that means that you are a matter. I know it may sound somehow foreign or funny, but you all are matter, including your desk, your exercise book, your school bags, etc. are all examples of matter. So today we'll be discussing the topic matter. From our primary school, we learned that matter is anything that occupies space. But let it be known to you today that matter is anything that has weight or mass and occupies space. Most times in the sciences, mass is used as a synonym to weight. So anything that has mass and occupies space is termed matter. Like I said before, that everything we can see in this classroom is an example of matter. All things that exist in the world, including the earth, the galaxies, the stars, the moons, etc., are all examples of matter. This mass per se can be seen or defined as the amount of quantity of matter in an object. That is the amount or the quantity of stuff in an object. That is what we describe as mass. Matter can exist in three states, and the three states of matter we have are solid, liquid, and gaseous state. Though another form of matter or state of matter has been discovered, the one that is known as plasma, but it's not that well known, and being gelatinous or creatures in nature, we classify it under liquid. So the three states of matter that we have is the solid, the liquid state of matter, and the gaseous state of matter. These forms of matter or the states of matter have different properties. That is, the features or the characteristics that will be used to identify any of these states of matter. The first state of matter is the solid, and the solid form of matter has a defined or definite shape. It also has a definite form. For instance, if you see this your exercise book, you may be able to describe that this our exercise book is somehow square in nature, including your desk. You can describe it because it is a solid form of matter. This solid form of matter also has fixed volume. Since the particles are closely or rigidly packed, we say that this solid form of matter has a rigid shape. The next state of matter is a liquid. A liquid is a state of matter that does not have a defined or definite shape. For instance, our water, the one inside your water flask. Don't be surprised, maybe just 2 glasses of water that feed up each of these different shapes of water flasks we are all seeing in our classroom. The liquid form of matter takes the shape of its container. It does not have a definite form or shape, but it has a definite volume. The particles are loosely packed, and so it is not rigid. While the gaseous state of matter has no definite shape, like the liquid state of matter, it takes the shape of the container. It has no definite volume, and the particles are kept apart since they are also loosely packed. Classification of matter. We've been hearing about matter. We know of the 3 states of matter, which we stated as the solid, liquid, and gaseous state of matter. We also have the classification of matter, which means that matter can also be grouped into different parts. Classification is the process of grouping items. I repeat, classification is the process of grouping items or materials based on their sizes, colors, shapes, form, or states in terms of similar things that they do. You may say all the red colors belongs to the one group. If you are to group our colors, you know that we have 7 colors, where different colors that are seems to be having the same color are grouped into a particular color. If you should pick all the green color, you place them into a color known as green color. So we can also group items based on their sizes. We can also group them based on their state or form. So classification is the process of grouping items or materials based on their sizes, their colors, their shape, or in terms of the similar things that they do. This matter, we say, can be classified into 2: living things and non-living things. The living things, like we all know, are those things that have life in them, while the non-living things are those that doesn't have life in them. But for the basis of this class, we'll be discussing the living things. Living things are those things that have life in them. They are further classified into plants and animals. Plants, which are the major source of our energy, they are those living things that can produce their own food through a process known as photosynthesis. The other group of living things depends on plants for their food. Plants are further classified into herbs, shrubs, and trees. And examples of herbs are cabbage, our water leaf, the one also known as Talinum triangulae, our spinach, the one we know as our Amaranthus species. We can have our Amaranthus hybridus, etc. Our sunflower, rosemary, Christianity myrrh, frankincense, bay laurel, etc. While the examples of our shrubs, the difference between these herbs, shrubs, and trees is that the herbs are the short plants. They don't have that height. They are just very short, and most of them have no height at all. Most they are shorter than the shrubs. While the shrubs are the ones that occupies the middle canopy, while the herbs occupies the floor or the ground canopy. So these shrubs, they are average in height. That means they are not as tall as our trees, and they're not as short as our herbs. Examples of our shrubs are hibiscus, mountain pine, lavender, icera, alamander, croton, etc. While our trees are our orange tree, mango tree, iroko tree, cashew tree, melina tree, oil palm tree, oil bean tree, name them. These are the further classification of plants and their example. While our animals are grouped into vertebrate and invertebrate. Our vertebrate animals are those animals that have backbone, while our invertebrate animals are those animals that don't have backbone. Examples of our vertebrate animals are our toad, our frog, our sheep, our fowl, fish, etc. While our invertebrate animals are those animals that doesn't have backbone. Example is our earthworm, grasshopper, butterfly, housefly, etc. Don't forget that the topic we treated today is matter, and we stated that matter is anything that has mass or weight and occupies space. We said that matter can be grouped into 2: living things and non-living things. Types of our living things can be classified further into plants and animals. Plants are classified into herbs, shrubs, and trees, while our animals are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. Thank you for listening. In our next class, we'll continue with the topic differences between plants and animals and characteristics of our living things. Thank you.